Welcome back to Where Baggies Walk. It's the business end of the season and lots to get through. With the win against Watford, we're talking about the brilliance of fellows, Lankshear, and the final 4 games of the season. Just where is this season going for the Baggies? The team are mostly away on Easter holidays this week, so delighted to have Dan, our original host of this show, back with us just on his own for this week. Dan, lots to get through. Let's kick off, shall we, with that Watford result. If you've just found the channel, drop us a quick subscribe to like. It's 20 minutes of West Brom chat, and we are getting a little bit excited. Well, I am as a neutral. Are you, Dan? Are you starting to believe now that win is finally back?
It was great to see us win, but I think with the game coming up at the minute, it'd just be typical Albion, we just bottle it in the end. Obviously, we had the heartbreak last year of the playoffs. I don't really want to go through that again. The playoffs are horrible. It's a horrible way to find out if you're staying up or going up or staying down. Well, I'd rather like the season just be over now and just not bother with the playoffs, to be honest, just to save the heartache. But yeah, it was a very good performance on Saturday. It was definitely needed just to sort of build that bit of confidence, because you could see it lacking the past couple of games. We haven't really created much, been wasteful chances. But yeah, it's great to actually get a win under our belt.
Spoken like a seasoned pro of watching this football club, isn't it? Let's get some social media takes then. Ollie, hater of Trevor Penning, says, massive result. Fellows now has to start every game for the rest of the season, and Sol backed that up by saying never bench Fellows again. Yeah, our Watford fans said he absolutely tore Watford a new one. Should it and could it have been more than just the 2?
Yeah, definitely. There was a couple of times where Fellows again just tore down that right hand side, put it on a plate for Lancashire, and then he just scuffed his chances. I don't know whether that's just because of like lack of game time, or he's still young, or maybe just lack of experience. But yeah, I think if Lancashire gets more game time, then he'd be burying them, to be honest. But yeah, like them tweets are saying, you can't be dropping Fellows. He's got the most assists so far this season, and he proves a point. Like, I mean, okay, he has gone off the boil a few games, but you're going to get that with players with tiredness and everything. But I think that rest has done him good, and he proved a point on Saturday. Like every attack more or less came from him, and he got 2 assists.
Absolutely. This was backed up again. Heaton Patel says, start with Price, Fellows, and a target man. And we look actually half decent. Dyke should have replaced Lankshear at the end. We just need the ball to stick. Hopefully a win will boost confidence. There's so many people actually saying, Dan, that actually Armstrong perhaps has been the one holding you back maybe in the last couple of games. And actually, watching Lankshear play was a breath of fresh air. Do you agree with that kind of view?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely something different than the previous weeks when we've had Armstrong up front. We can get crosses into the box, that's perfectly fine. But when you've got a bloke who's like 5'5" or something trying to win a header against like 6'6" like defenders, it's not going to happen. But Lancashire, he actually played really well. Apart from his scuff chances, but he was able to hold the ball up well. He was strong in the air, and he brought more players coming forward, so he was able to hold it up, play the ball off, make his way into the box for like the crosses from Fellows and from Johnson. But yeah, Lancashire did play a really good game on Saturday.
Yeah,
very impressive.
More on this one. Yeah, Rob Daly says Lancashire was unbelievable. He plays exactly like Mazza does. Against Coventry, which of course the next game we'll talk about in a minute, he must keep the same team and give it 110% against them. Come on, you Baggies. Do you get that point? Lots of people making the comparison about Mazza and Lancashire and the similarities in the style of play.
Yeah, you can sort of see it because they're both very strong players. It's the same with DK as well. As soon as he came on Saturday, he was just bullying everyone about, pushing people, just barging through players. And it's exactly what we've needed, to be honest. We've needed that big target man up front. I mean, it's all well and great having Armstrong, who's all probably one of the best strikers in that's been in the Championship, but when he's not playing to his strengths, which we don't do very well, it sort of shows. But with like the three of Lankshear, DK, and Madja, that I wouldn't exactly say they're sort of the same player, but they have the same sort of style of being able to hold the ball up. Again, bring players into the attack and get on the end of crosses.
Okay. Finally, on this game here, this is one from Andy. He says, starts with the team shape. It was our best starting 11 team shape and intent to play on the front foot. The fellows loved it. He was liberated. He was brilliant. He created two and should have had more. And Price was in his best position, was superb. Lankshear really arrived willing and intelligent. And it was a nail-biting end. Right. It's taken him a while then, but Mowbray finally knows his best 11, does he not?
I mean, there was a bit of high hopes Saturday when the team got announced. You could hear the murmurs of, "Oh, he can actually pick a decent side," and I think with the players he had available to him, that was the obvious best side he was going to pick. But yeah, but will he change it around again? Who knows? He probably will, because Tony loves a tinker. But yeah, hopefully he doesn't change a winning side.
Yeah. All right. Let's have a look at the final 4 games, shall we? Before we do, drop us a comment because we want to know whether you think the Baggies are going to do it or not. I think we'd all love to see West Brom in the playoff. In the playoff final, it just feels right to have the Baggies in the Premier League. But then it also feels good to have a different team like Bristol City and Millwall potentially in there as well. Right then, goodness me, you are playing Coventry, of course, this Friday at the CBS, and then after that, 3 teams which are fighting for their lives. Would you rather play teams which have got nothing to play for, that may be a bit higher up the league than teams like Derby and Cardiff, or like a Preston or a Swansea or QPR?
Maybe, but then I think we sort of do better when teams actually come at us, because they'll want it more, but then we can just use our strengths of the quick players that we've got on the counter attack. I mean, these next 4 games are tough. No matter how you look at it, they are tough. Coventry, they're fighting for the playoffs. Derby are still scraping to stay up. Cardiff, they're in the bottom 3 already, so they'll want to put a decent performance in. And Luton, I think they're already down now, to be honest. But I think they'll still give it their all. It's to be fair, it's tough to call actually these next 4 games. I mean, even with the win on Saturday, it's the Albion.
But on paper, though, you've got stronger sides than Derby, Cardiff, and Luton, haven't you? In terms of what you've done, and defensively, you would argue that you're better than Coventry, because whilst they are good and have been scoring goals, defensively they are porous. So if you can just keep them out the other end, you've got every chance of this. And then of course it's into the playoffs, and then it's a lottery then, isn't it? Really, I mean, like last year, it was a very tight game against Southampton, which could have gone in the end either way, but it's just sadly didn't. Right then, let us know what you think in the comments below. We're also picking this week the player of the season. We'll get Dean, and Dean is actually currently at the player of the season awards, I think, as she's been hosted at the stadium tonight. So we'll find out shortly, I'm sure, who officially gets it. But Dan, for you, who should get the Baggies Player of the Season award?
There's only one name, and I'm sure thousands of other Albion fans will say the same, and that's Hegem. Like, what an absolute find that is from the coaching staff and the scouting staff. Wow, what a player! I mean, he's had a couple of wobbles, just like everyone else has, but he has just been solid all season, and just what a player! Build him a statue.
I suppose if Isaac Price had been there from the start of the season, he could be a strong contender, couldn't he?
Oh yeah,
As well,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, as soon as he signed him, there was doubts, and it'll be the same throughout the whole fan base. But yeah, there was doubts, but it, he soon shut us all up with the performance that he's been putting in. And you've seen him playing for Northern Ireland, the goals he's been scoring, but he just looks so composed. And you put him in the right position, and he's going to tear teams apart.
Cool. Okay. Finally, this week, we're also asking you to nominate the Championship Player of the season. So the two rules for this: you're not allowed to pick a West Brom player, Dan, and you also must pick a player not that you've heard is good, but you've actually seen yourself, or you've watched every Baggies game this season. Which is the one player that you've watched from another team and thought, "Wow, they are tearing us one here," either defensively, obviously, or from attack.
I think I'll have to give it to that Czech Fatadze for Watford.
Yeah.
He terrified the life out of me when we played them the first time round. I'm glad he wasn't playing on Saturday, actually. But he just ran through us. Everything was coming through him. I think Darnell Furlong still has nightmares about him. But he just sort of reminded me of Ben Arthur. He just picks up the ball and just runs with it. And no one could get anywhere near him. And he terrified the life out of us.
Okay, good shouts. And he's a name we've heard several times. QPR actually chose Maja when we asked them because of his performance in that first game of the season against them. He scored a hat trick, didn't he?
Yeah.
Great. Right. Thank you very much, Dan, for doing a solo job this week. Thank you very much for joining us and watching us. 4 games to go. We'll see you in 7 days' time when we're going to look back at how the games have gone against Coventry and Derby, and then we'll look forward to the final away game of the season. Join us for that. Thank you much. Have a great Easter weekend. Thanks for watching.